Hi, this is Alvi, and I'm going to be explaining about what you are going to get once you download the template. This template is going to help you write a business plan, a resort business plan in just 2 days instead of 4 weeks, and save you at least $1,500 to $2,000. If you have to hire someone to write a similar business plan, then it would take you at least, it would cost you at least $1,500 to $2,000. So let's get started. For this video, we are using the template to write a business plan, a resort business plan. There are two files. Once you download the template, you will get access to two files. One is a doc file and one is a financial model or a spreadsheet file. So this is how the doc file, this is how the spreadsheet looks like. There are a bunch of tabs in here. You can use the table of contents to navigate through all of these tabs. It contains everything that you need to write to create a financial model for a resort. And here's the business plan, which has everything you need to basically get a proper business plan, resort business plan. It's around 48 pages. I'm going to be going through the highlights, and for this particular video, I'm using the name Paradise Cove. So we are going to write a business plan for a resort called Paradise Cove, a made-up resort called Paradise Cove. I'm going to go through the overall writing process, which is going to give you a very good idea on how to write the business plan. I'll get into the details of the business plan later, but I'm just going to give you a high level glimpse of what it contains. For example, this is the cover page in here, which can be changed from this particular area. So if I just click on this, there are a number of cover pages, more than 100 cover pages in here that you can choose from. So you can just use a free Canva account to edit these cover pages. You don't have to do anything. Then we have a dynamic table of content. If you just click on this, then it's going to change depending on how you structure your headings. For example, this is H1. Then we have these graphs and charts, which are basically connected to this particular financial model. When you make changes, any changes to the financial model, it will be automatically reflected in the graph and chart. You don't have to do anything. For example, let me just give you an example. So let's go to revenue assumptions. I'm going to get into the details later on, but just to give you an idea how this is connected. For example, one of the room is priced at 300. Now, at this moment, this is how our graph looks like. So if I change the number in here, then this graph should change. So let's try this out. Let's make it 3000. So once I make this 3000, then once I click on update, then as you can see, it is changed. Now let's make it 300 again, and let's change this again. So as you can see, it got back to the previous state. Now let's make it like 20. Now let's see what happens. So if I make this 20, as you can see again, it has changed. It's showing losses all over the place. So this is how this model and the graphs and charts work basically. Then we have some graphical elements. We also have valuation in here. We also have some graphical elements and everything. I'm gonna get into this later. Another important thing is, as you can see, for some of the graphs, this is in pounds, because in this particular financial model, earlier the units were in pounds, so it's showing it like this. We haven't updated the graphs and charts. Just to give you an idea, it's super simple to update everything. Just click on linked objects in here, then just click on update all, and all the graphs and charts will be updated automatically. This also shows that everything, it's going to take some time. Yeah, as you can see now, everything is in dollars. So earlier it was in pounds, we changed it to dollars. You can also change it to pound again. So how do you do this? There's an app script in here. So if you just click on extensions, let's close this now. So if I click on extensions and app script, this opens up. So in app script, we have already preloaded change currency. Click on OK. Change currency.gs. This is already preloaded. You don't have to do anything. Now let's say this is in dollars. Now I want to this is in dollars. Now let's say I want to change it to pounds. So how do I do this? Or any currency, whether it's Malaysian currency, whether it's Chinese currency, whether it's UAE currency, whatever currency you have, you can basically make changes. So this is the currency that we currently have, which is basically dollars. So we are gonna copy this. We're gonna paste it here. we are gonna copy this currency. Let's say we want this to get back to pounds. So I'm just gonna copy this part, put it in here, and just copy this part and put it in here. Then it's quite simple. We have to click on save and just click on run. So once I click on run, I don't know why that error message came up. It usually doesn't happen. So as you can see, it is already changing to pounds. It is already changing everything to pounds. Once this ends, it works automatically in the background. You don't have to do anything. So all the currency units are gonna be changed into pounds. It takes some time to do this. So as you can see, everything is changed into pounds. So even if I just change this again to update, if I click on update all, just click on update all, everything in here will also be changed to pounds. So everything is very automatic. You don't have to basically bother about mundane processes. As you can see, everything has changed into pounds right now. All the units and everything of all the monetary units will change into pounds. As you can see, all the monetary units have changed into pounds in here. So as you can see, all the financial statements and charts and graphs have changed into pounds. It takes some time to do the process. It takes place in the background. So these are some of the highlights. Now let's move on to the next section. Okay, now let's show you how to basically change this particular cover page. So as I already showed you, there you have a choice from number of cover pages. So let's say we want to change this to like maybe this one, and our project name is Paradise Cove. So I'm going to change this to Paradise Cove in here. And let's say this is the thing, or I don't like this one. Maybe something else. Let's try something else. Okay, so let's try out this one. This looks much simpler. So Paradise Cove business plan. Now I'm gonna just download this in PNG. Just download this one, current page. Even if you are using a free Canva, it's going to work. You just have to change. This is basically a free account, the one that I'm showing you with. You can also change the image in here. Just upload the image, any image of your choice from Google, and just put the image in here and just download. So after I download, oops, I think I downloaded this in PDF. So you'd have to download this in PNG. By mistake, I downloaded this in PDF. So this one, PNG, done. So it's downloaded. Now what I'm going to do is replace on this image. As you can see, it's very easy to change the graphics in here, and also the graphs and charts in here. Now let's give you an idea on the writing process, on how to change the overall content in here. For example, this is Paradise Gateway Resort, founded in 2023. Entrepreneur is Morgan Rivera. And location is Hawaii. Now let's say I want to change this. I want to change this to like Paradise Cove. And let's highlight this part and just write here, change the business name or resort name to Paradise Cove. Founder, it was founded in 2021. Founder is Alex Green. And it's located in it's located in Colorado. Or maybe Mexico. Yeah, now just click on this and it's going to make the changes. As you can see, it has already made the changes. Paradise Cove was founded in by Alex Green, nestled in. If you want to make any changes to this, obviously you can do that. Now, after this has done, we want to replace this content. So just click on replace. Done. If you want to change the mission in here and the vision in here, you can also do that easily. Mission should be for Paradise Cove and make it shorter. It says Paradise Gateway Resort, but I'm just gonna replace this. I'm just gonna replace this, change the format and change the name to Paradise Cove. There's a very easy way to basically just click on Control F, Paradise Resort, sorry, Paradise Gateway. Yeah, Paradise Gateway. Okay, there isn't any mention of. Okay, it's Paradise. I think the spelling is incorrect. Gateway. So if I just want to replace this, I just can just write in here Paradise Cove and just replace all. The industry analysis, the industry overview, you can use Perplexity for industry for overview. We have already done this. So we have already inserted the industry overview so that you don't have to waste your time. These are some of the graphs and charts. You can also add your own graphs and charts in here. This is the valuation NPV using DCF method. These are the investment on fixed assets. This is the working capital. Now let's get back to the financial model, and you should always start the business plan with the financial model. So when you start the financial model, it builds the overall structure of the business. That's why you should always start with the financial model. It will help you get started. Okay, so when you start the financial model, firstly change the name of the business in this particular area. Oops. Then decide on the projected years. For example, in here it's 2024 to 2028. Now let's say I want to make this from 2025 to 2028, then I can do that as well. 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028 and 2029. Now let's get started with the capex first. So as you can see, as I made the changes, it's reflected here. The hard inputs are only in this particular these colored cells in here, the pink colored cells in here. So we changed this, if you remember, we changed this to pounds, so it's in pounds. So let's continue with pounds in here. Now basically the resort financial model consists of three key segments. One of the segment is investment, the second segment is revenue, then the third segment is cost. Firstly, we're going to be discussing about the capex and the investment section. When you start a business, obviously you have to first think about how much you are planning to invest in the business. For example, in this case, we have assumed to invest 1.5 million in equity and 150K in loan. The loan is for 60 months and the annual interest is 4%. If you think that the terms are different for your case, then please make the changes. For example, if it's like 80 months, then just enter the numbers in here. If you think that the interest is 15%, then just enter the number in here. So as you can see, for example, when it is like 4% interest rate, let's go to the income statement. We have a loss of negative 145,000. Now let's get back to the capex assumptions. Table of contents, capex assumption. Now it's 4% and we have that much losses. Now let's make it 15%. And now let's go to the income statement. As you can see, it has increased to 160,000. So as you make changes here and there, it's going to have a huge impact on the overall performance of the business. This consists of calculations which you cannot do in your regular like calculators or in your regular back of the hand calculation. That's why you need a model for this. There are so many factors to consider in the business which cannot be done with simple calculators. That's why you need this sort of a model. So I'm going to explain each of the stuff in here. So this is the capital structure. This is the capex in expenditure, capital expenditure. So when you invest 1.65 million, you some of that goes to buying the land, some of that goes to property development or construction. Some of that, for example, instead of property development, if you want to consider this as construction, you can just do that, and everything in the model will change. For example, if I go to the balance sheet right now, as you can see, it's construction. Earlier it was property development. So everything in this model is very much dynamic. As you can see, property development to construction. So you can make any changes you want. Now, in case of land, all the fixed assets are mostly dependent on the size of the land. The bigger the land, the bigger the resort, and the bigger the investment on the other fixed assets. For example, in this case, if it's 2 acres, then you would have to spend investment is like 50 pounds per square feet. This could be higher or lower depending on your scenario. It's totally dependent on your scenario. This template will help you basically adjust the numbers and get to your desired point, but you have to adjust the numbers because I have no idea about your situation. So each person's business is different and their situation is different, so you have to make the assumptions. The useful tenure is like 20 years. If you think it should be 30 or 50, you can make changes in here. Some of the stuff will not have a useful tenure. For example, land doesn't have a useful tenure, so it is blank. If you think that any of the asset in here does not have a useful tenure, then you can just keep it blank. In addition to this, there are some fixed capex items, for example, landscaping and outdoor features, sports and fitness equipment, which are not dependent on your land, which is not connected to your land. So for that also we have a separate area. We also have 3 different options for adding more. You can add less, that's totally dependent on you, but you can also add more. So this 1.65 million goes into land, property development, safety equipment, all of this stuff, and we are left with 1.36 or 37 million pounds. This is the working capital. This is the cash in hand that will be used for the day-to-day running of the business. So this 1.3 out of this 1.36 million, if we go to revenue assumptions, a certain portion, which is 68,000, goes to your marketing budget. And out of the 68,000, a certain portion goes to website, certain portion goes to social media, certain portion goes to Google Ads. Also, there will be some customers who require no marketing and who basically come through organic channels. So for example, your friends and family, for them as well, we have considered a certain number. For example, this is the row that we considered, number of organic customers acquired. So let's say these customers do not require any sort of marketing. And obviously, if you don't need to market, you don't need to spend marketing dollars on a particular set of customers. It's obviously beneficial for you. Another important thing is, let's say out of the 68,000, you are spending 3,400 on website. This website has a customer acquisition cost. CAC is customer acquisition cost. So you are spending this much, and after spending this much, you are getting 27 customers. This also depends on your scenario. So all of these customers add up to 651 customers. Some of these customers will leave you on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. They won't come back to you ever. So for that, we have considered churn rate in here. Then we have the revenue model, which consists of revenue from different rooms. Now, in your case, the rooms and the prices and everything will obviously be different. Please make the necessary adjustments. Then we have food and beverage services and spa and wellness. If you think that you won't be offering spa and wellness, then just make it 0%. And everything in the model, for example, if I just go to income statement, as you can see, the spa and wellness service is 0. You can also remove it from here. There are other ways to make the changes as well. You can also ask for our help. So basically, revenue assumptions, as you can see, these are the segments. Then we have other section. If you think that it should be 0, then just keep it 0. This is how the overall revenue model works. Now we are going to be moving into the cost structure. So we have already discussed about the capital structure, the capex line items, the revenue line items, and now we are going to be moving into cost. So in case of cost, there are two types of cost. One is direct cost or variable cost, and one is fixed cost. So this is cost of services and this is operating expenses. Cost of services is your variable cost and operating cost is your fixed cost. So in case of variable cost, what happens is it depends on your revenue. So if your revenue is zero, it is also zero. If your revenue increases to 100,000, then it's also going to increase proportionately. But in case of fixed cost, whether you generate revenue or not, even if your revenue is zero, you will incur a certain amount of fixed cost. So that's the basic difference. So each of the revenue line items, for example, one of the revenue line item is standard rooms. So you get revenue from your standard rooms. So standard rooms is a revenue line item, so it will have a certain number of costs associated with it. So what are the costs associated? Housekeeping, labor, laundry service, amenities, others. You can change any of these depending on your requirements. For example, if you change the labor to something else, you can do that. And also the cost and everything, you can make changes in here. So all of these costs are variable cost. If somebody occupies the standard room, then only you will incur these costs. Otherwise, you will not incur these costs. That's why these are called variable costs. And then we have the OPEX, operating expenses, which has these particular items. So after adjusting everything, then we move on to the cash flow assumptions. Cash flow has three different segments. One is payables, one is receivables, and one is inventory. In case of payables, what happens is the higher the payables, the better it is for your cash flow, because you can pay off your suppliers or your vendors at a later date. So you get more time to pay off your vendors. It is good for your cash flow. So more cash is in your hand. The opposite is true for receivables and inventory. If you have higher receivables, then you get the cash from your customers at a later date, which is bad for you in terms of cash flow. Same is true for inventory. If you keep a lot of inventory in house, then a lot of cash is stuck into the inventory. The less cash you have in hand, the worse. So the more cash you have, the better. So this is how the whole model works basically. So you can make the adjustments in here. For example, if you think that the payables is 2 months, then you can just place this 2 months in here, and obviously the cash flow will change. Let me just show you. So earlier it was like 1. Now if I just go to cash flow statement, it's 960. Now as I make this change to like 2 months instead of 1 month, now it should basically be better for me. 960, from 960 it has jumped to 975. So as you can see, these are the changes that you can have. Let me give you an extreme example. Let's say you pay off your payable, your payable period is like 6 months. Now let's look at the cash flow statement. As you can see, it has improved even more. So the more cash you have, the better it is for you. It gives you more flexibility to operate in a certain environment. So let's keep it 1. So this is how this works. Then we have salaries. So for salaries, you have a monthly salary for a particular year. From the next year, maybe your salary will increase a certain percentage. It could be 5%, it could be 10%. Depending on that, please make the adjustments. Also, the number of personnel will change. Let's say for the first year it's 1 person, it's 2 person for the second year, 3 for the third year, 5 for the fourth year. So this is how you can make the changes. Obviously, it is going to have a significant impact on your costs and your income statement. The more people you keep, the higher the faster the burn rate and the less the profit. So this is how it works. You can just adjust in here and you can just play with the numbers and find out how many people should be employed by your business in order to get an optimum amount of cash flow and an optimum amount of net profit. Then we have, once we are done with the salaries and the revenue cash flow assumptions, we are basically done with all the assumptions. Now you can just go through the dashboard. Now you can just go through the dashboard and other elements in here. So whatever we have done so far is reflected on the dashboard. Okay, so if you look at the dashboard, you can just scroll through the years and look at the performance of different years. For example, 2026, we have 1 million in revenue. 2025, we have around 512,000 in revenue. In 2029, it's 2.8 million in revenue. So whatever your assumptions you have made, it's going to be reflected in here. Also, it's going to this is the burn rate chart, which shows you how your cash flow increases or decreases over the years. So as you can see, initially you will have a burn in cash then it's probably going to increase after some time. So it totally depends on your assumptions, how many guests you have acquired, and every other stuff in here. So as you can see, during the first year, you have acquired 651 guests. By 2021 to 2029, you are expected to acquire 15-17 guests. So these numbers are totally dependent on your assumptions. As you make changes to the assumptions, these numbers will obviously change. Then we have the revenue breakdown, which is a monthly breakdown of the revenue. As you can see, it provides a more accurate figure of your or projection of your revenue summary, loan amortization schedule, loan amortization summary, cost breakdown, which we can just break down into months. This is a monthly breakdown of the costs. After that, we have the cost summary, the operating expenses, income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet, burn rate analysis, valuation, non-current asset schedule, salaries, and done. So this is the overall model. So once we are done with the financial model, we can get back to the business plan and finish this up. So the executive summary is done. I suggest that you work on the executive summary at the very end. Once everything is done, just give it a quick read and just do it. As you can see, it took me a very short amount of time to do this. Even if you think a lot about this, it should not take you more than 2 days to finish this, because everything is done in an automated way. You should not face a lot of problems. For example, right now what I have to do is, the business name is Paradise Cove Resort. So I'm just going to put in Paradise Cove in here, Paradise Cove Resort, change some of the formats. Who's the founder? Alex Green, I guess. Yeah, Alex Green. Change the format. Write the name of your management team and the designation. For example, Alice, CMO. So like this, if you want to add more, you can do that. If this is LLC, then just type in LLC in here. Location is, let's say, Mexico. If you want to change any of the goals in here, then you can also do that. Like this, change the goals for my resort in Mexico. Or if you have anything particular in mind, you can also put that in here and it's going to change the goals. To increase guest selection, if you want to replace this, then just click on replace in here. If you want to keep it as it is, then you can keep it as it is. It totally depends on you. If everything is basically pre-filled. For example, business model, it's pre-filled. You don't have to do anything. In the cost section and the revenue product section, please use the financial model income statement in order to figure this out. For example, the revenue is through rooms and suites, food, beverage, spa, and others. And the cost comes from, let me see, cost summary. Cost comes from housekeeping, laundry services, amenity. These are the costs basically. So just write that down. So this is how you have to fill this up. Then the sort is also pre-filled. Then if you want to add more stuff in here, obviously you can just, for example, if you just want to add more stuff in here, then just click on this, write down what you want to add. For example, make it more detailed. Make the operational overview more detailed. Once you write this and click on create, it's gonna give you more content. So this is how we change this. Then this is Jacob Harris. So this is obviously going to change Alex Green. This is the founder. Just change the format a bit. Replace Jacob Harris with Alex Green. Resort name is Paradise Cove and it's located in Mexico. If you want to add more stuff about yourself, for example, let's say you have completed your bachelor's or master's from like Columbia University, you can add that in here. It's going to take that into account. And just click on this. As you can see, it has given me a lot of stuff in here, equipped with education, this, that. Now just click on replace. And as you can see, the content is changed. So this is how you can basically make the changes here. Now let me show you something. This is the organogram. So in case of organogram, you have design choices, number of design choices. Let me show you. So here are a number of design choices in here, just like the cover page that I showed you earlier. Let's say you choose this particular format. And here is the founder. Put your image in here. You can just upload the image and put the image in here. Let's say you have a CMO. This is the CMO and bunch of people work under him. So you can just make the changes to the text easily, to the images very easily. So you don't have to bother about anything. If you think that I should use this format, you can also do that. If you think that I should use some other format, you can do that as well. Then just download it and just click on this image and replace the image with the image that you just created. This is how you have to change it. The industry analysis is already done. If you think that you should make the changes, any changes, then please do so. Some of the things that you have to do is target market segmentation. We have already mentioned how to do this. You just have to do it. Then the market size, this is also done through Canva. Also for competitive landscape analysis, this is a table where you can just compare the competitors and mention some of the good and bad stuff about your competitors. If you need help, for example, let's say you can't find out about how to write the competitive landscape analysis, then just click on this. Tell me how to write a competitive landscape analysis for my resort in Mexico. So once you click create, it's going to basically get you some content. It has mentioned identify your direct and indirect competitors. Not all the resorts near your proximity will offer the same sort of services. Okay, some of them will be high end, some of them will target the mid tier, some of them will target the lower tier. So whatever tier you are targeting, you have to consider the direct competitors to be the market players who are offering similar services or targeting the similar market. Gather information about their social media followers, their website traffic, this sort of stuff. Anyway, so this is how you can get help and find out how to work on a particular section. Then we have Porter's 5 forces, marketing plan. These graphs and charts are also in the financial model. You can find it in this particular area. You can also create it on your own. That totally depends on you in this particular area. Yes. Yeah, marketing plan. So this is how you have to basically do this stuff. Then we have the financials, which is basically the income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet. So all of the stuff that you need for your proper resort business plan, you can find it in here. Also, if you think that it's too much work to do this, then you can just contact us for our help. We can help you write the plan from ground up. You don't have to bother about writing the plan yourself. Even if you don't want to use a template, you want to totally hire someone for doing this, you can just hire us, or you can just take help from us to do this. It's going to be a super simple process for you.